Hey there, it's Whitney with messengerofspirit.com, and today we are into video number 2 of our 4-part video series. And we are going to be talking a little bit more about happiness and how we create that in our life. Now, I was at the doctor's office a couple weeks ago and I saw this sign in her office and it said, "Do one thing to make you happy every day." I was like, that is the most awful sign I've ever seen in my life. And I shared that with my husband and he looked at me like, why is that so awful? And I'm like, because it's saying do one thing every day that makes you happy. People should be doing everything every day to make them happy. They gotta be doing more than one. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, well, maybe that's to help other people just focus on the happiness. And I was like, okay, maybe that's what that sign is serving in that moment. But I don't know about you. I do not want to live my life doing only one thing every day that really makes me happy. I call BS on that, and I hope you do too. So part of this video series is to help you have a happier life. And so in the first part, and if you have not checked out the first video, please do. It's all about illusion and perspective and what's going on. And so if you've done that homework, you've identified some of the blocks, the things that you're just not happy with, and you've gotten to the source point of the root, it's time to pull that root out, right? And so we talked about personal responsibility. You have to acknowledge and say, okay, I do believe I create my life. I create my reality. I create things. You are a creator. I know, like you can even create small things, cooking, drawing, painting, whatever it is, create thoughts. You actually create thoughts. You create your reality with your thoughts through law of attraction. And so the energy around us is our mind. So our thoughts actually start outside of us, not in the brain. So it's outside in our energy. And I want you to think of yourself like a magnet that always has energy attracting itself to your energy. And so with this attraction that's coming through, you attract things that are very similar to your energy. So if you were being frustrated, all these illusions that were around you, well, because your mind, your emotions are outside the body, you're just going to be attracting more of that funk, more of that negativeville, because you're thinking about it, you're feeling it. That's why we talk about what really created that situation. What is your role in that? When you find your role in why you've been feeling those feelings and thinking those things, and if you haven't referenced the first video, it's not somebody else's fault. You have a choice to react through a positive filter or a negative filter. And so when you really get to the point of that, you can pull it out and say, I no longer choose this. I choose happiness. I choose positivity. Now, that does not mean that you can sit in your chair and just expect that it's going to pop down into your lap and there's your new life. You actually have to take action. So with happiness, it starts with recognizing what's going on in our life, what kind of provokes a feeling of unhappiness, recognizing the responsibility that we have with it, and then pulling that out of our thought patterns, out of our energetic patterns, out of our emotional patterns, out of our spiritual body. So what we're going to be doing is reframing. And so when you are experiencing these things, you can say, oh, I recognize that I had a part in creating this. And now, because I know I'm a creator, I can create a happy new path. And so if you are not excited about your job, guess what? It's time to either change your perspective on the job you're in, but most of the time, that's going to be, you know what? I have the authority and responsibility, and I am a creator, to create a new path for myself, a new job path. We get limited with the illusion of thinking that we cannot make a change through finances, through time, through all these other excuses we make up. It's really because we're comfortable. And so many people in my readings come to me and they're uncomfortable. And really, it's like they're comfortable in the uncomfortableness. They may complain, they want to change, but they're not willing to actually take the action. They're only looking at when is something new going to come my way. And spirit, with my guides, is always This is the opportunity coming your way, but you have to make a change, or you have to create that opportunity that's coming through. So we have to move out of that perspective of life happens to us versus we create our life. That's a big change. And so when you can embrace that and you know it, you can make a change in what your feelings are about it. And so what I'm going to invite you to do, and part of your homework here, is to look at all those illusions that you had, and now you've taken responsibility for your part in it. And so now, because you feel that confidence and you've got that acknowledgement of responsibility, you can recognize you're a creator. I want you to recognize you're a creator. And so it's time to seek out or create new opportunities for yourself, because oftentimes they don't drop in magically from the sky. Now, we can manifest opportunities, but manifesting is not through just thinking, it's through thinking, feeling, and action. And so when you put an action out into the universe, you get some amazing opportunities. Now, I was sharing an example inside of my Facebook group with my students here in the 4 Intuitive Languages program. And inside that Facebook group, I was sharing with them that I was applying for a slot to do some speaking at a spiritual event. And so it's an application process. I still haven't heard if I got it or not. I will not until a couple months. But with that, I felt like, yeah, okay, I'm going to put it out there, and I'm not attached to the outcome of it, but I actually submitted my video application. So there's my energy. It's out in the universe, right? That's one way I can create an opportunity. I might not get that opportunity, but I put the energy out there, and I'm not attached to really getting it or not. I put it out there, and then a couple days ago, I had an opportunity seemingly fall out of the sky. And it was another speaking opportunity at a really well-known event with well-known people, and they asked me to do some speaking. Yes, I said yes. So do you see how creating an opportunity is not necessarily what we think we're going to be getting? It's putting the energy out there and putting the action out there, and knowing that if you do get XYZ, you're going to take it. And then your guides and spirits say, she's open to this. So here's this other opportunity. So you have to show up for your happiness. It's not going to come to you. It's not going to rain down with all these dollar bills flowing into your living room and all these perfect relationships just there by thinking. You have to think, feel, and then go out and have action. So like, put yourself out there. You have to show your energy. So many people will say to me, gosh, Whitney, I really want a relationship. What do I do? And they're not actually ready for it. Their energy is closed off, but they want a relationship. So they like the idea of the relationship, but they're not actually putting themselves out there and saying, I'm open and I'm willing to do it. And so even just making sure your energy is open and saying, yes, if one comes in, I will really say yes. I'll really go out on that date. I will really do this. And don't have all these if this, if this, if this, if this. It's okay to have great expectations, but what you're doing sometimes by saying, well, it has to do this, this, and this, and this, we're controlling the outcome and we're blocking it. So we need to make sure that we are excited and that we say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm really ready to step up and I'm going to claim my own happiness. Whatever that is for you. If you're in a job, it's time to get your resume out. Or maybe you've always wanted to create your own business. So you're like, yeah, I'd love to create my own business, but I don't have the time, or I don't know how. Okay, reality check here. You've got to make the time and invest in a class or a course to learn how to do it, or hire somebody to help you get to that place so that you can do it. You actually have to take action. So I would love for you to do everything in your day that makes you happy, not just one thing. But if you are feeling like you're just so overwhelmed and you feel so negative, well then yeah, you want to focus on one thing and then work on expanding those things. That one thing though doesn't mean you go out and you get a Snickers bar. You want to make sure that you say, I'm going to do one thing that's going to attribute to my happiness in a healthy way. I'm going to put that resume out. That's one thing in my day I'm going to do. Then the next day, do two things. If you can only do one thing, that's fine too. But it's one thing that can attribute to your happiness of the life that you're truly, really wanting. So if it's, I want to connect to my intuition more, then say, okay, I'm going to make time every day to talk to my spirit guides. If it's something that you're saying, I need to quiet my mind, then say, all right, I'm going to make time, one time every day to meditate for 15 minutes. Whatever it is, maybe it's exercise. That's a big one for some of us. Whatever it is, make sure that you are doing at least one thing a day that really fuels that happiness or that can attribute to it that's coming into the future. And then I want you to expand on that. I want you to have a happy life so that we're not just doing one thing every day. So that's your homework. If you want another wrap up with it, identify those issues that you had. You have a responsibility, you're taking responsibility, you're recognizing you're a creator, and so you're saying, I no longer choose this, but you can't just say I no longer choose this, you have to move in a forward direction. So you can say, okay, these are my steps that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to put my resume out, or I'm going to put myself out there for a relationship, or I'm going to get that application in for that speaking opportunity. Push yourself out of the comfort zone. Because there is a real thing of being comfortable in the uncomfortable. It's a routine, it's safety, it's convenience. You got to get out of that if you want to change in your life. So anyway, I hope that you do that. And if you want to chat more about it, make sure that you're inside of our Facebook group. It's free, The Intuitive Tribe. Go to facebook.com/groups/Intuitive Tribe to chat with others in the community about your homework steps. I will see you soon inside the next video.